Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Creative Kloud. My name is Amanda. Before we continue, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and most importantly, share. So with me today, I have fashion designers in the house. And personally, I actually have an outfit that I want to make for a wedding. I think it's going to help me bring it to reality. But first, to my left, I have Ethan. And I have Isioma. Welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Lagos Fashion Week happened a while ago. And I don't know, did you go for it?
I didn't, but he did.
I went for it.
You went for it. So how was it? Like, it was like a brief breakdown, like a run through, because I've never ever gone for it. So like,
okay.
what's it like? What's the feel like?
Okay, lots of people come around and wear fashionable pieces, and sometimes they wear like designer stuff made by Nigerian designers, or some designers also wear their own items, like designers that still trying to put their stuff out there. So so we have like the street style in the beginning, and then you have the fashion shows later on in the evening, and the shows this year were really good. Some of them were good.
So what's like the highlights? For you, what was the highlight for you?
For me, the highlight was seeing a Mina show and some Nigerian brands like that impressed me, like Mina, Sisiano, because he had like this contemporary performance. Yeah. And Attila had this church choir thing that went down when the models were walking down the runway. Yeah. What else? Yeah, most things just relied on like presentation as well.
Yeah.
So
like, how do you feel fashion in Nigeria has evolved over the years?
Okay.
Starting from like how we used to dress like way back up to this point.
If you think about how the world is growing, how the economy has changed in Nigeria, a lot of people didn't really trust the expertise of Nigerian artisans or the brand, the promise that they give, with delivery times, with quality, like as regards on a world scale, the quality of services or products they'll get from the regular artisans. So people generally would have preferred to travel for summer, or when they travel, do their shopping and come back. But then there has been an ignition, I don't know, I think from the early teens of from 2011, 2012, coming all that way. This decade has been great for fashion in Africa, because people have decided to really focus and harness what there is to gain from fashion, and they have been getting good results, because fashion is really growing on an economic scale. They get, so people are making huge money from fashion, like they do in oil now. So funny enough, banks and government and everybody's really getting behind the move, to make sure that they can maximize what we have here, because Africa is rich in culture, rich in style, which I don't think there's some aspects of culture and style that the first world countries don't have enough experience to deliver on. So with more educated people going into fashion and making it a more reputable craft.
So do you feel like at first we're not really maximizing that?
No, definitely not. And us Nigerians were not forced to look back at what we had. When you have less options, you in your house, and you want to eat, and it's raining outside, you have to go back into the kitchen and make something come out of what you have. Yeah. So that's really what happened, and apparently trust has been built with brands, because what the brand really is a promise, and people have developed, a lot of designers have been delivering on their promises, and they've brought a lot of people home. Yeah. Okay,
so before we continue, we're going to come pretty safe forward, because like we can really get into the conversation and then the time just runs out. So we're going to come pretty safe forward. Let's do. I'm not really good with fashion, but let's do fabrics. So, like, what fabric should we use as our safe word?
Ashoke.
Okay. Ashoke is fine. But then, moving on, how would you? You said that we didn't really maximize that. So, how frustrating is it when people feel like tailors are fashion design, like there's no difference, and I just gotta meet that tailor now. That tailor just designs for you, and that tailor just, and then people don't know like the difference between a fashion designer and a tailor. Like, do you feel that has changed, or it's still the same? Do people still feel fashion designers and tailors are still the same, or are people now, are people beginning to understand that there is a huge difference?
Okay, so I went for the Design Fashion Week. There was a talk they had, and Chibodi came, and what he said was a fashion designer a fashion designer can be a tailor, but a fashion designer is who instructs the tailor what to do. So a tailor is basically a garment, someone that joins garments, but might not really have the creative direction. But a fashion designer has creative direction and knows what way to steer the garment. If we're liking making garments to drive in, do you get? So that's really the difference. And since we're used to tailors, most people assume fashion designers might be are tailors, or they want to cage you there. But it's up for the designer to educate his client or client base, or distinguish himself enough to be obviously not a tailor, because nobody will know who you are until you introduce yourself. So you need to stay relevant and just keep on giving people good content that makes you clearly not just a tailor.
Yeah. So how did you start? How did you branch off into fashion?
Fashion. Well, it's there from like secondary school days, because I had senior girls always coming to me to design their prom dresses. So I have to like sketch it and stuff. So after secondary, that's when I had like the idea that might be what I want to do. Then after secondary school, during uni days, I got a job at Polo Ralph Lauren, and that's when I started getting to understand like the retail aspect of fashion, and also like studying fabrics and stuff like that. And when I moved back here, I decided that I really want to work in fashion. So I started working with a Nigerian women's wear brand, and
So what was your experience like working with one?
Working with one, I learned what to do and what not to do. So you learn from like bad experiences as well, like bad deals and stuff like that. It's been good because I've gotten to know like what happens behind the scene at fashion shows. And fashion shows, it looks so glamorous, but backstage is like disaster. It's like all messed up and everything.
Yeah.
Once again, I got to learn about like when you're doing like styling a lookbook or campaigns and like designing websites and stuff like that. So all this process, like all this behind.
So what has been your craziest experience?
Craziest experience has to probably be, I don't know if I'll call it, if I'll define this as crazy, but it was like a really messed up, shitty experience. We're supposed to style a celebrity for a red carpet thing, and you know how some celebrities tend to like lose weight or stay in shape for the red carpet. So rather than stay in shape, she came for her fitting.
She added
just
weight.
like a week, and she added weight. So she started complaining that, I thought you were meant to be perfect. Like this is not my size. I'm like, you added weight. But I didn't say that. But yeah, that was really, really shitty. So yeah, you end up dealing with stuff like that as a
So what
designer.
did you do?
Nothing could be done. You just had to like amend it and to her size, but eventually like just wasn't.
So how did you like how did you calm her down? What did you say?
Yes, it's the typical Nigerian policy, and custom is always right. So you just, even though you know that they're wrong, you just pretend like, sorry, blah blah blah. We'll sort it out, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this thing about, okay, so I'm not talking about fashion design, I'm talking about tailors. Like, it's so annoying. It's like tailors act the same way. So, so I think you guys know what I'm about to talk about. So literally, you take your dress like 2 weeks before your event, and you say you have an event coming up, and you give it to them, and they take it, and they assure you that yes, you're going to have it in fact 2 days before your event, and you go there, and the tailor is telling you, I'm just patching it up, I'm just fixing the hand, I'm just fixing the zip. Why? Is it that, like, I don't understand, because I'm like, if you have a lot that you're doing, just don't take the job. Do you get? Just don't take the job. I've had cases where I've literally given my dress a month before my event, and I go there, and it's not ready. Like, literally, maybe I go there 5 days before the event, and the lady says, oh, I'm so sorry, I've not even cut it yet. let me just start cutting. Come back like 2 days before. And then I go back, and then she says, I go back, and then she says...
It's like a flashback of this woman just came to your face.
I go back, and then she says, oh, sorry, let me just do the hand. And then I go on the day. She says, okay, come back on, like, in the morning, and it's going to be ready. And you go back, and she says, oh, sorry, I just have to fix the zip. Why? Like, why? Why? That's, like, the most annoying thing ever. I think it's the most annoying. Like, why does that happen? Why does that happen?
Do you want to hear my answer?
Yeah.
My answer simply is pick another person. I think if you're hungry and if you're that curious, you come out of the street and walk by the corner, you see one man with a bowl of rice and some stew in one container. You can eat from her, but you don't want to eat from her. You want to eat from Mr. Biggs, you want to eat from Buka Hut. There are a lot of people that sell food now.
Yeah.
If you're overwhelmed with what everybody is selling food, you won't really know who to pick from, or you need to try multiple options to make sure that because basically white rice is white rice. Why would you eat Buka Hut white rice over Ebano white rice? So do you understand? Brand is promise. Do you get? So what does the person promise that's different from every other person? Do you get? Mata Food does suits, and it does suits at 200k, 300. Do you get? And people still go and pick my, even though there are thousands of suit designers now. You understand? A suit is a suit, but the matter of a suit is different from a suit. Do you understand? So, would there be tailors that disappoint? I think there will always be a majority of tailors that disappoint, but what makes a designer or a brand stand out from every other tailor is the fact that he doesn't disappoint. Or even if he disappoints, it's very minuscule. And if somebody that has integrity disappoints you, he knows how to compensate for that, and he knows how to communicate, because things, unfortunate events happen to everybody. Nobody's can escape those. But how do you communicate? How do you? That's what really. If she does that, I would say try somebody else. And try somebody else, and try somebody else until you get.
Just keep trying.
Yes, until you get like, and don't be too. Until you get like 2 or 3 people, like you can say, okay, if this guy is that integratable to say, I can't deliver by this week, you try your second out of your 3 options, and obviously one of them, 1 or 2, they might have different styles that you might. So just
so do you agree to that? Like, you guys, have you ever done that before?
Well, no. The issue is, I think another thing about the whole idea of being a tailor and being a designer is when you're meeting a tailor is probably going to collect your clothes, and it's just this idea of greed as well, like collecting a lot of things in bulk, knowing that you cannot really accomplish some of them. So the tailor might just tell you in the end of the day, like, oh, sorry, I couldn't make your thing, and then you have to go. The tailor doesn't compensate you anyway. The thing about going to meet designers, which some people always complain that, oh, if I can go and make this thing in Yaba or so, they don't really consider the fact that a designer would sit on top of your matter and make sure that something is done. Like, the tailors will probably disappoint, but they might want to disappoint, but the designer would be there to, like, supervise and make sure everything is on ground and and
especially when IG is there for it to get
exactly. So reputation is key. So so that's the difference. So that is also what you're paying for. You're paying for that service because you know that something is going to be ready on time and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, like, as a fashion designer in Nigeria, what's like your biggest struggle?
Power. For me, power.
Yeah, power.
Because you're dealing with irons, you're dealing with you want to have that ease of production, of mind space to think, and if every other time you have to do something, you have to worry, you have to have that headache of I'm burning diesel or burning petrol or whatever you get. So power is one. Right out of my head, I haven't really thought deep about the question, but that's the person that keeps my head. Power.
So aside power, what else?
Consistency of fabrics. You want to stock on fabrics. You want to have them. Okay, so as opposed to buying some expensive fabrics that are regularly available, you have some fabrics that are affordable, but if you don't buy a whole huge volume of them, there's no guarantee of getting the same fabric again. So you have to invest in fabric, you have to invest in quality things which are not the level of things that keep coming to Nigeria, the quality keeps diminishing, and then it's as a small business, there's little you can do to that. Also, human resource. As I think that's the rising problem in Nigeria now, where you want to teach somebody how to cut patterns and stuff, and they don't even know how to divide 56 into 4. Yeah. And you're thinking of drawing up a board on the wall to show what 56 divided by 4 is, and so to almost guarantee on your promise, you have to micromanage everything. You have to be on, you have to do everything by yourself. You want to make deliveries. There's so much you realize you have to do when you're in business in Nigeria that you don't necessarily have to do in other places in the world.